How long is this? How long is this interview? Go for it.
It's 6 minutes. If we let it play.
Decision to side with Johnny Depp
let it play
in
and
his
stop if
defamation
there's something
lawsuit
good.
is drawing both condemnation and praise. The verdict came after 6 weeks of very dramatic testimony from both sides.
Yep.
She claimed that he abused her while he said she was the abuser. In his reaction, Depp wrote, the goal of bringing the case was to reveal the truth, and that truth never perishes. Elaine Bredehoft is the attorney for Amber Heard and is with us now. And we should mention, we did also reach out to Johnny Depp's team, but they declined to be interviewed this morning. Elaine, thank you. We're so very glad you're here.
So.
Thank you. We heard Amber's reaction to the verdict yesterday. This seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
Yeah, a major setback for women inside the courtroom.
Talking points. Those are talking points.
Right off the bat.
He's got the talking points.
It's a huge, hey, Elaine, it's a huge victory for Johnny Depp, period. It's not a setback for anybody else who was not one of the two parties to that lawsuit. So setback for, what's her face, Amber, but not a setback for women.
Outside the courtroom.
Because
basically what this said, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence.
She's got very consistent talking points.
But now it's going even more like now it's suppressed evidence, which really that's putting, you say, shade on
the judge.
That's like the judge had a willful motive to hide the truth. Okay.
All these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse, they don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine,
that's not what this jury's saying.
Yeah.
She's being so disingenuous with that. The jury say because she's acting like there wasn't evidence that the fact that she was being deceptive, and there was evidence of deception here. That's what she's trying to ignore.
I think it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not.
She said it's bigger than that.
But Elaine, I think it was bigger than that because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
Because she was lying. Sorry, because she's a liar. Period.
Let's see.
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And
they're not buying her crap.
Yeah, well, I like it. I thought she was buying it for a second, and it's not just that she's a celebrity too. If we want to go by what would typically allure men, she's super hot. There's no question. She's super attractive. If she were a likable personality, everyone would be on her side. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah.
And it's not only not
she's
her.
but she's a celebrity too.
Right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in.
Pivot to the tale of two trials.
In the UK, Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of proof was on the son in the UK because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence.
Talk about the UK.
Opportunity to tell the truth then. And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence.
So now she's talking about a whole nother trial, a whole different time, the one he lost, Like we talking about the one that happened yesterday. We're not talking about the one that happened 2 years ago.
It is amazing though. It's just find a way to get away from what they are saying, regardless of what they're saying, to get to what you want to say. It's very Hillary Clinton-esque, but it's not Hillary Clinton. It's just lawyery. It's politician. It's garbage. It's dishonest.
Violence, including sexual violence, and that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge, it wasn't a jury judge. The judge said it was substantially true. And
they're pushing back a little bit.
By the way, I like it because I didn't know that this guy said the substantially true distinction, which makes me feel a little bit smarter right now. But
that is significant, and I think surprised a lot of legal analysts. But in this case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause harm. Right? That's a pretty high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since the op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp. You have to remember that. What they learned from the UK case is to demonize Amber, which is what they did.
Next, talking points are the same.
Yep. It's pathological. It's
We got to talk about demonized. Yes, they got their talking points
to
out.
suppress as much of
We
the
should write them all down.
that came in the UK and did not come in the United
More
States.
evidence
But the
in
other
UK,
problem is we
not
had
in
cameras
evidence.
in the courtroom. So here we had
Cameras.
not only did
On
we
cameras.
have a group of Depp fans that were there every day.
He's not buying it. I don't know who that guy is.
They lined up at 1 o'clock
Blame
in the
the-
morning for
blame
their
the Depp
wristbands
fans.
to be in that courtroom. But we had everything on camera, and we had tremendous social media that was very, very, very much against Amber.
It was pointed out that that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
And I fought hard and lost that battle.
Well, put on pause there.
Should
Put on
not
pause
have
there. So, first time the victim of sexual abuse had to testify live on camera. Yeah, I guess Johnny never alleged being a victim of sexual abuse, but he just alleged being a victim of abuse, testified live on camera. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Scratch.
But
scratch
again, no. I'm going to tell you why that's wrong, because the jury found that she was lying about it. So this is not the first time. This is when somebody who made the accusation and was found to be lying, not being truthful, that those statements were false. A jury found that those statements were false.
I am a former NFL player, and after a hard loss, it's easy to wake up and point to the other side. Oftentimes, I realized the better thing to do was to look in the mirror. What mistakes did I make as a player? What mistakes did our coaching staff make? And then how can we improve from there? Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like Amber made a mistake while she was on the stand? Because you're saying it's a celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him. But what about you and your team?
Okay.
That's a good question. That's a damn good question.
Look at her face, by the way. She's like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, what did you just ask me?
you blame it Johnny's fans. You're blaming all these other people. What the hell about you? And she's like, this mother.
How dare you? I thought we were friends.
Yeah. It's got to be the black guy. My God.
Well, and that's an excellent question. And to say,
Of course, damn right, it's an
Amber
excellent
even said
question.
on the stand, I am not perfect. I am a human being. These people were giving her death threats.
Now look
They
at she's looking
threatened
around the
to
room. She's just,
microwave.
give me
her
some
baby.
eye contact, somebody.
This is the kind of social media she was
Not
getting.
buying it.
So are
He's
any
not.
of us perfect? No. Is there something else we feel we should have done?
Hold on, pause there for 1 second.
Absolutely.
Even in the accusation, is there anything I did wrong? Sure, there's something wrong, but she was being threatened online. They wanted to immediately
her baby.
pivot to being a victim. It's
pivot hard. It's a hard pivot too. It was a hard pivot. They microwaving babies now. That's what we're talking about.
I hadn't heard that part, but now I think I get the reference. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I redo my closings 100 times afterwards, whether I win or lose. That's part of being a good lawyer, a good trial lawyer is there's always something. But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control. And I think the social media, it was like a Roman Colosseum. It is the best way to describe.
Put on pause there for a second. In the Roman Colosseum, it was only Joaquin Phoenix who said thumbs up, thumbs down. It wasn't the Colosseum that decided it. Was it put to public vote in the Colosseum? Like I thought. It was like a straw vote where if everybody's cheering, yay, let him live, he lets him live. If everybody's booing, he'll kill the person. That type of thing. Haven't seen Gladiator in a while. I'm going to maybe watch that again.
Here. And I have to believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weekends, they have
He's
families,
not buying it either.
They were not.
But you see, we're back to the next talking point. Jury is corrupt.
Sequestered. They were not sequestered.
And the 10-day period we had,
The
how could
10-day
they
period
not
we had again.
have been influenced?
But Elaine, for most people watching this trial, and a lot of people, as you know, got huge views. It just seemed to be so messy and salacious and so tawdry on both sides. And I think a lot of people from the outside looking in thought both of them were not telling the truth and that they mutually abused each other. Do you not believe that that was the case?
No, and that's one of the many.
It's a good question. I still, by the way, don't believe that Johnny Depp lied. I think he told the truth. There would have been a strong argument of mutual verbal abuse.
They win that argument.
Yep. So it's a good question. And now whoever I don't know her name, and I don't mean like that, but I don't know who any of these people are, is sort of lawyering the lawyer. Hey, maybe you picked the wrong argument. Like my buddy over here just asked you, what would you have done differently? Maybe I would have tried to get my client under control and argued mutual verbal abuse and not the most egregious, grotesque other type of abuse. Okay.
But she's saying no. No, that's no
misnomers. The way that Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence. It completely ignored the cycle of violence and just said, "Oh, she wouldn't have done this if he had been hitting her." That was their approach.
So you thought that they weren't fighting fair?
Correct. I don't think they were fighting fair.
She doesn't think they were fighting fair in a court of law. What does that sound like, Viva?
Sounds like Amber Heard.
If you say your opponent is not fighting fair,
it's the pathology. I have an expression or a belief that lawyers end up with clients that reflect their values, and clients end up with lawyers who reflect their values. What we have here, not a failure to communicate. We have a lawyer who seems to be as pathological as her client. Blame everyone else, blame the system, blame the jury, blame the television, blame social media. What would you have done? It was stacked against us. We're innocent. Not a shred of blame. Everyone was out to get us.
You think
Absolutely.
Amber Heard is, in fact, a survivor of domestic violence?
Yes, I absolutely believe that. And there's a tremendous amount of evidence, much of which did not come into this trial, did come into the UK trial. We even had more evidence. We had medical records. We had mental health records that went back to 2012. That were contemporaneous. We had tech.
She did the exact same twist. We had medical records. We had mental health records. Again, the same confounding, because I guarantee you, the only medical records that she's talking about were not physical trauma. Were were therapy and therapists. Yep.
Again, but it's obvious what she's trying to do.
Messages from Mr. Depp's assistant saying, when I
Text
told
message from
him
the assistant
that
again.
he had kicked you,
So this
he
is the best they
cried.
got.
So how
That
is she
didn't come
today,
in.
Elaine? How is she today? What
She's
is her
heartbroken.
next move?
She's right. Well, her next move is appeal. There were
But
a
she's
number.
heartbroken.
She is heartbroken. And one of the first things that she said when she came back from the verdict, when we went.
What do you think she said?
Let down women. I let down survivors.
Let's see it.
Into the conference room was, "I am so sorry to all these women."
Yeah, no, but by the way, she should be sorry to all of those women, especially the bona fide survivors of actual bona fide violence, because what she did is made it harder for everyone else to believe people who come forward and say, I was a victim of some form of domestic violence. She should feel sorry, and she should apologize.
She said that?
Yes, she felt like she had
Yeah,
let
he-
down
she said
all of
that,
these women because she had more
Wait, pull
evidence
up.
than
Oh, too late. I was just focusing on his socks, but we'll get there. We'll get back there.
most people do, and yet they still didn't believe her.
Elaine Charleston, Bredehoft, thank you so much for joining us.
Look at those. Those just, first of all, I like those shoes. But the green, are those Pepe the Frog socks?
Oh,
Okay. I'm joking. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
That's what we appreciate.
Pathological. It's pathological.
yeah. You think she's pathological?
Yeah, I think Elaine's pathological now, because you couldn't. If I lose and my client's a liar, I'm done. We did our best. That you got up on stand and you lied. I knew you lied. I'm not running the rounds for you to carry your water. Like, Elaine now is doing the bidding for a liar. I don't care how much you want to get paid for that. It's that's terrible.
Consistent talking points, though.
Yeah, well, she hit them. Britt Cormier says, let's go via the Wayback Machine and look at the social media that JD received when Amber Heard first wrote the article and see what he put up with. AH. 2, does she not go over her closing win or lose 100 times? Because she is not a good lawyer. I love the fact that she was trying to give herself a pat on the back and say, like, what good lawyers do. Well, Elaine, good lawyers can get a question out without being objected to 1,000 times for not misleading. I'm sorry. Nate, hearsay or suggestive. But that's probably because her client just couldn't get the truth out.